Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Terry, for traffic jam. Not too many microphone stands in your way tonight, Terry, so you'll be able to get out without any damage. But now you've got Folk and Stuff with Pat and Greg, and this week around is our KCR live version of the show. And today in the studio we have Marie Hopkinson. How you going?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Marie is a local Perth musician, singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, Chinese herbal medicine practitioner, acupuncturist, and maker of things. So we've got a bit to get through.
You've gone on the internet there, haven't you?
Well, let's start with music, eh?
Okay, that's good.
Now, you're here basically to promote your new single.
Yep.
Doing It Wrong. So maybe you could tell us a bit about that song, what that's about.
Yeah, I think I wrote that song when you have this thing that dawns on you sometimes where you're just doing something and then you like find a new way of doing it and you think, gee, I was just doing that wrong all this time.
That's the story of my life.
That's what I put in that song is that lyric. Like, you know, like one thing, like the start of that line of the song says, I'm just pressing too hard. And it was one thing was on my guitar and I was like trying to get better at guitar and I was thinking, I've got to press it down really hard, you know, to build my finger strength up. And then I realised you don't need to. I was thinking, someone told me, hey, you don't have to press that hard. And I was like, hang on, you don't. And then there's all these things in life where, I don't know, all this time you think you're doing it right. And you're doing it right for the time. But then something comes along, you think, oh, I wish I knew that before.
Well, it's a great song. Have you had an official launch for it at all?
Yeah, so I had an online launch actually. I did a couple of. I've got a lot of fans online, and so I did a couple of. I got up at 2:00 in the morning to do one gig for my fans in the UK at 7 p.m. their time, and then another gig at just all different random times to fit in with people in the UK and people in the US. Yeah.
Well, I got the song from AMRAP, and I actually heard it on RTR.
Oh, awesome.
Just driving along, and that's Maria. Anyway, now the video of that song is also really good because you're in a winery surrounded by vineyards with a glass of wine in your hand half the time. Okay. So where is that vineyard? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, it's a very secretive roadside attraction in Perth. It was literally my sister and I were driving around trying to make a video clip, and we went around the Swan Valley and we were looking for places we could film in, and we found a roadside that was just literally the side of the road, and it just looked perfect. So people were watching us making our video as they were kind of driving past. It's very close to Bandy Up Prison.
Oh, right, okay. Now, well, your video's really good, and a lot of your videos of your own songs anyway, you go to trouble to make a nice video and put it on your YouTube channel. They're really classy. I mean, do you do them all yourself?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I do.
Oh, well,
I do them myself. Yeah.
Very professional.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Now, I read on your on your internet webpage that you started music, or you had an interest in music at a very early age. You got the bug about age 4. So how did you go pestering your mum to get some lessons and stuff?
Yeah, so...
Or did she just ignore you till you went to school?
No, she didn't. I don't think... She told me she didn't know what to do, and she didn't know kids could learn, like little kids could learn, and I was the first of 4 kids in our family. And we used to be only allowed to watch certain TV shows, so we were allowed to watch Sesame Street and Play Schools, and then the TV would mostly be turned off. And after Sesame Street came on, the ABC Orchestra used to come on straight away. And I don't really remember this much, but Mum said I used to, every day, for a period of time, like go to the TV and point and drag her there and say, point to the violin, like out of the whole orchestra, point to that violin. And my mum... And then Mum didn't know what to do with that. And then one time we went past some people busking, and that I was like, I really want to learn the violin. And I was only little, 4 years old. And I think there's a thing called Suzuki Method that teaches little kids how to learn. And it's kind of learning through fun, and you don't have to sort of start with learning sheet music. So that's how I got started. And, it was just kind of downhill from there.
Parents might call it learning through torture.
Well, it was. Look, it was very graceful of my parents to let me and then my subsequent sister and 2 brothers all learn the violin and put up with the squeaky sounds for many, many, many years.
Okay, so you say you're a multi-instrumentalist. Just on that, so you must have learnt something because you got a music scholarship to go to Perth Modern.
Yep.
So that's no small thing. Well done.
I think I was just fortunate. Like, you can go through life and you can put the hard work in and you can do things like that. But you can also have opportunities where it's probably meant to be and you're fortunate. And look, I wasn't the greatest violinist. I was a terrible violinist, to be honest. I wasn't that great. I could play. And they offered me a scholarship on the cello. And something that a lot of people don't know is when I'd been in music school for like a year, so I'd started on this cello and it's a different clef to violin. So there was a bit of a grace period, like, you've got to learn the bass clef instead of learning the treble clef. And then they called my mum into the school about a year into it or 6 months into it, and they said, look, we've never had this situation before. We've just realised your daughter can't read a line of music or a note of music. And
we've given her a scholarship.
Yeah, and they were like, we don't know how you have managed to get this far, kind of thing. And what I did at my audition is
raw talent.
Exactly, I'm so great. I used to put the sheet music in front of me even though I didn't need it, because I thought, well, that's what everyone does. I just want to fit in with everybody else. And so I got my way, I managed to get my way through the music school and I learned how to read music. And that was a great opportunity.
So at that stage you must have just been playing by ear.
I was, yeah. Yep.
People like that annoy me.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, just do it. I heard it a couple of times and now I can play it. Okay, now you say you're a multi-instrumentalist. So we've got cello, a bit of violin, guitar in your hand. Mm-hmm. What else you got on your CV?
Singing, and that's it.
Well, that's the most important thing, of course.
There's 4 things there. I think that's enough. I do own a bush sax, but I probably don't play it very well. It's a very strange instrument. I bought it off a busker once. It's supposed to be a clarinet kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like a squeaky saxophone.
I did see you pull out a little keyboard in one of your videos too. That was quite an interesting video, because you haven't just got songs on your YouTube channel. You've got all kinds of stuff in there, and talking to people, how you write songs, and on a song I think you're going to do later, you give a really good explanation on that. We'll talk about that later, maybe.
Yep.
But so you do play the smallest keyboard I've ever seen in my life that you pulled out from underneath the desk.
I think that's just
it's got about 12 keys on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, that's a MIDI controller, so it's really just to write music, get the notes down. I wouldn't say I'm a keyboard player. I think keyboard players would kill me if I said I was a keyboard player.
So this is all set up on your home video,
yes,
which is, as you explain in one of your YouTube videos, your home studio, where you write everything in there.
Mm-hmm, pretty much.
That's your place.
Yep.
Everything goes straight to the phone, and you just work through it.
Yeah. If I get an idea, I'll usually write it down on paper. If it's something to think of, like a line, but it's mostly something I'll just record into my little iPhone, and then it's kind of transformed when I get on the guitar or maybe in front of the keyboard a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's something that Greg does a bit of, writing music. I've never tried it. I don't know. It seems too hard to me.
Yeah, it sort of comes in fits and starts for me. You know, I'll write for a while and I won't. Just happens that way, I think.
So the process for you would be in your studio, you work up a song, and then you take it to some band members.
Yeah, there's either way. So I've done a few songs where I've done the parts with the band, and that Seasons is one of the songs that we recorded like that. But recently I've kind of worked with a producer who's helped me kind of transform the songs, like much, much more than ideas I would kind of think of.
Yeah. And
then once you've got those parts sort of in what they call like a demo track, which is kind of like there's a guitar, there's a bass part, there's a keyboard part, there's a drum track. Then you get a real drummer to come in and drum those drum parts, and a guitarist to play those parts, and then myself, the real singer, comes in and sings the real singing.
So
But-
are they more like session musos or?
Yeah, that's what we did for this album that I'm working on now, and so
Okay.
this new track that we just released, called "Doing It Wrong," that's got all the session musos on it. Yeah.
Is that the name of the album, Doing It Wrong?
No, the album's going to be called "All About Love."
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that album because it is mentioned in
Yes.
on your webpage,
Yeah.
working towards it.
I've been working towards it for the last year and a half. Yeah.
That's pretty normal.
Yep.
Some people work a lot longer than that. So with your band members, is there like a group of guys that you usually perform with? Because, again, on one of your pages, you're there on stage.
Yeah. So I play with a band in Perth called the Smash Monkeys. And
Okay.
before I joined them, they mostly just did covers, and we played lots of gigs doing covers, parties, people's parties and functions and stuff like that. And then they said, "Oh, you're into writing songs," and that kind of sparked me to start writing the album actually, because I'd already written a few songs and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then they put me onto the producer that I've been using, and we went and did like 3 or 4 songs at the studio all together. And look, I'm really new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just giving it a crack.
Well, you're doing a good job because, you got yourself a good producer because the stuff sounds really
Oh,
good.
thank you.
Really good.
Yeah, he is a very good producer. He's very good.
Who's your producer?
So that's Rob Agostini, and
Okay.
he's at Soundbaker Studios in Perth.
Yep. Okay.
He's just very good to work with. It's good to have someone that you feel comfortable, and you just, especially when you don't know what you're doing, you want someone to kind of guide you, but not sort of force their ideas on you, so that you feel like it's not really my thing anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just good when you're in that flow and you're like, oh, this is working. Like, let's do more of this.
Or to have him sitting at the desk yawning.
If he's yawning, I can't see him yawning.
So, what's the first song you're going to do for us? Is it Seasons?
Would you like to hear that first? We can.
Yeah, I would like. That's my favourite.
Awesome. All right,
Now,
let's play that.
You've got the. Is it a Facebook video or on your YouTube channel? One of those, where you give it a little bit of explanation about what this song's all about.
Yep.
And the whole thing is just beautiful, and I was really impressed with your take on the song, in that it was, be careful who you listen to, was something that you emphasised, and never give up, and have a go at everything. Just fantastic. And then, but the song's about suicide or something. I don't. But,
Yeah.
But I had a friend of mine. Well, she wasn't really a friend. She was just somebody I knew, and she sort of like lived by your motto. Mm-hmm. She had about 50 businesses on the go at once.
Yep.
One of them was Langtrees, Mary Ann Kenworthy,
Yeah.
and she just had businesses everywhere. And how the hell she had time to do anything is just beyond me. But so you strike me as a bit like Mary, and they just full on.
Yeah.
Go get them.
I'm not running any brothels, but
Maybe that was.
I would not think about it.
No, it was more a comment on the businesswoman side of it, really.
Yeah. No, look, I've tried lots of things, and I've never had a real job, in terms of never had a paid job. I've always been self-employed, so it's like, if you don't work hard, you don't get any money.
That's right.
You can't
Right,
eat.
you gotta-
Yeah. That's
true.
good. All right. Well, would you like to add anything before you play that song?
I think we just let the song speak for itself, and we can chat about it afterwards if you want to. But I did write this song when I was at a bit of a difficult time in my business. I think it was probably the biggest thing. Like, you can go through periods where you just struggle because you're not sure what to do next. And it was a bit of a reflection on when I started one of my businesses. I was so young, and people just used to. I think they were hating on you, but you didn't realise they were hating on you because you're too young to kind of realise the innuendos and the things that they're saying, and they're kind of like, they're jealous of you because you're doing what you want to do at 21, and and sometimes if you're not strong, like, I'm a very strong person, and that's why I've kind of like pushed through all that. But I know people that, like, one negative comment and their whole world crashes down.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean by you've got to be careful who you listen to when something's really precious to you or it's very new to you. Don't just tell everyone about it. Like, you've got to be...
The saying that haters are going to hate. haters got to hate. You know, they're going to do that anyway.
They do.
So you've got to
Seems to be a lot of that going around nowadays,
Yeah,
eh?
there's a lot of hate.
That's for sure.
All right, I think let's do this song. Ready to give up on your dreams, but they won't let go of you. And right now it's the only thing that seems to be true. You wanna let go. You wanna let go. You might be thinking about, don't wanna live like this anymore. It's okay, you're not the only one. I've been there before, trying to make sense of it all. Friends say it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Forget about a voice of reason. When has reason been good for you? It might just be the season, and that's what you're going through. Everything you wanted, shiny colors turn gray. And everything you asked for is slowly drifting away. You let it go. Let it go. Forget about a voice of reason. When has reason been good for you? It might just be the season, and that's what you're going through. Forget about a voice of reason. When has reason been good for you? It might just be the season, and that's what you're going through.
Beautiful. Short version.
Yeah. The radio edit. It's funny, all the people in my band like always make jokes about how long that song is. They're like, oh, we'll just, take a
No,
long
it's
break.
excellent. I think it's perfect.
Yep.
Okay, now you're very big on or you're very savvy at least on the YouTube and Facebook and social media and all the rest of it. And we were talking off air and you were telling us how it all works.
Yep.
So just where can people find you, your social media outlets?
Yeah, so Facebook's the main one. So it's just Marie Hopkinson Music on Facebook, and Instagram, the same, Marie Hopkinson Music. Everywhere. I'm on TikTok. I'm on
Spotify.
I'm on Spotify. Marie Hopkinson on Spotify. So there's 4 tracks, or actually 5 tracks, sorry, now people can get on Spotify.
What have you got on TikTok?
TikTok
Funny videos.
Check that out.
Is it like Instagram or video?
TikTok is like the new thing Instagram's bringing in called Instagram Reels. So they're 15 second to 30 second maximum videos, and most things on TikTok are funny. People like to flip through funny things, but a lot of people reuse their songs. So if, like, a lot of people do like their own funny video or their own sort of reflective video to your song. So if people can use my songs on TikTok on their videos if they want to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Is that monetised as well? Can you?
If you get to a lot of followers on TikTok, for sure,
okay.
yeah. But I'm not at that level yet.
That guy that covered Fleetwood Mac on it, he was on a skateboard.
Oh, Dogface.
Yeah, he got a lot of a lot of attention. That
He
guy.
brought that cranberry juice back. That's,
Oh, that's right.
that's for sure.
Juice. Yeah, they gave him a pile of money for that.
Oh, really?
Okay, right, now speaking of Twitter accounts, it was there that I found out that you like to make things.
I do. I love
would
making
you like
things.
to expand on that? Like, is it art, sculptures, furniture?
Look, I could probably make any. I could probably make anything if I needed to, but I really like.
Good skill to have.
I like. I've really gotten into art recently. I've gotten into this paint pouring thing. I've watched a couple of, actually through TikTok. I was watching TikTok videos and I saw this spinning art where people put this painting on a drill and they spin it and paint goes everywhere. And then I was into that for a few weeks and then I was like, because with the creative process, like sometimes you have to do something different creatively to stimulate. Like I wanted to finish the album, I wanted to finish writing the songs. And I had 5 songs and I needed to write another 5 songs. So I was like, how am I going to get these 5 songs written? Need to kind of stimulate my creative brain. So I went and bought all these paints to do this painting just so that I could stimulate my brain to do to my guitar songs. And the next thing you know, I've got a cupboard full of paint and I'm, like every weekend I'm into this painting. And like YouTube started suggesting me more and more videos. Hey, you might be interested in this style of painting and this style of painting. Like I've really been getting into this, like it's called fluid art pouring or acrylic pouring. Like you mix all these paints together and you just pour it out on the canvas and see what happens and little bubbles come out.
Yep.
And got this little blowtorch that you can use. It's very fun.
YouTube's a bitch, isn't it?
Oh, it really just
There's
gets you
stuff
in,
in
doesn't
there.
it?
So much
Next thing you
stuff
know,
on there. Yeah.
you
There's
find a
nothing
cupboard
you
full of
can't
paint.
find. How do I fix this up? There it is.
Yep.
Even old movies that you can't find anymore, you can
Yeah.
find those on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay, your other main interest, of course, is your Chinese herbal medicine. I was watching your live stream and I thought, what? You said you're in your office and there's all these jars of it. I thought, what the hell is all that? I didn't know that you were a herbal medicine person then, and I was going to ask you what those jars, and then we found out that you're Chinese herbal medicine. So, what's in those jars?
Yeah. Well, I
Mystery.
can tell you, but I'd have to kill you. They are full of mystery. Look, I'm really drawn to herbs because they are so natural, right? You're using this raw product that's like you're using nature. You're basically using. People get a bag of sticks and leaves almost that they have to boil up. And look, sometimes there are little creatures and things that are used,
really.
but not so much in Australia. And the style of herbs I use, we very rarely use those kind of things.
So you source all your
Sometimes do.
stuff from Australia, or you're getting it from China as well? Or?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. Like, well, for my company, I use a supplier that is the only company that tests things independently of China because it's a big problem, right? There's a big mistrust. And part of my journey in being an entrepreneur is I've gone to China lots and lots of times to source products for my business, and I had a retail shop and those kinds of things. So I've been on the other end of being gypped, and not that all China is going to gyp you or anything like that, but it's just it is a valid concern that people have when they just say one thing to make the sale. And so we use a company that tests all these products, like in America or in Australia. They are grown in China or they come from China. And there's a big market now for people to want like herbal medicines that are organic or pesticide-free and all that, even within China. So there's more incentive for them to make that sort of stuff like that. And, you know, because we don't want to give our patients things that are like toxic or dangerous to them. Like, you're trying to help them, not sort of make them worse with these things.
Yeah. I see that you're at the Natural Medical Clinic, and my mum dragged a whole family along there to see Val Allen in years gone past.
Yep.
And apparently has expanded, and you've come in under that umbrella. You're in that group.
Yeah, so I
It's fairly
started
prestigious.
working there about maybe a year and a half ago. It's a great clinic, and Val's still working. She's so busy, and she's got lots of patients there.
She must be doing it for 50 years.
More than that. Well, the clinic's just celebrated their 40 years in practice. So I think like 40 years of being established. So I think Val was practicing before she opened that maybe as well. Yeah.
I just remember always coming over buckets and buckets of pills. What the hell am I taking all these?
Yeah.
See, I wasn't sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, you got to go. Mum says you got to go.
Yeah.
But I'm not sick.
Yeah.
But you got to go.
Yeah. Naturopathy is a little bit different to Chinese medicine. We don't give you buckets of pills. We just give you bags of sticks and leaves.
So, bags of sticks and leaves, and you make your own brew.
No, like I don't use a lot of those raw herbs. We sometimes do, but mostly people get granules, which is easier to take and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was something, I couldn't find this, but
Yes.
apparently there was some mention about herbal tea tastings.
Mm.
Do you do that?
Yeah. So
I would love to come to one of them.
yeah. Okay. I used to have a retail shop, and I was selling herbal teas and manufacturing the teas myself, and then I had to close that down. And one of the reasons I closed it down was because I could focus on my music, because I was bringing my guitar into my store to write my songs and get into my music, and I could never leave the shop or forget about it, because even if you had a Sunday off or something, and you know the staff are there, and you're worried, what are they doing? Are they stealing from me? Are they selling properly? Are they, you just can't get it out of your mind.
Yeah,
So
it's constant. It's constant.
yeah. So I still do have the herbal tea business, and I just wholesale it to other shops.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you have a tasting day, let
All
me
right.
know.
I will, definitely.
I'll come down. I
I'll
love it.
send you some samples, and you can make them here for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind coming along as well, because I'm
Marie did actually bring a bottle of wine in today.
Should have brought you a herbal
We're
tea.
talking about
Okay.
all these healthy teas.
We must thank Marie. She's the first person that we've had in this studio in 2 years that's done that. So that's really nice of you.
No worries.
So you've got a couple of A's in there too. You've got acupuncture, which is that's a beautiful science. My physio and my GP use that,
Awesome.
so no problems there. Now the other one I'm not too sure of is apothecary. Apothecary?
Apothecary, yeah.
Apothecary.
So look, that's
what the
just
hell is that?
That's a fancy, old-fashioned word.
Well, the
for,
apothecaries were the original chemists. weren't
Exactly.
they?
Yeah. So
Oh,
look,
okay.
at one point, especially this is even prior to COVID, we were just talking about that distrust of China and things like that. So I was looking at rebranding my business away from the word Chinese,
Oh, okay.
let's say, because people have this instant reaction to that, and so rather than calling yourself especially since COVID, people just. I mean, you look at all the racist attacks on Asian people, but
Yeah.
I've had people attack my business saying, "Oh, you might be bringing the woo flu in here with your herbs." Things like that. They're like, come on, guys.
Ignorance is right.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
People writing comments on your
Crazy.
social media about, I wouldn't trust anything from China, and they don't realise the lengths that you go to make sure that it's safe and high quality and really.
Well, you
good.
have to anyway, I would think. I mean, I might correct me if I'm wrong, but because of the Australian laws anyway, you have to.
Well, we're one of the highest regulated countries in the world for endangered species and things like that, bringing things in, quarantine. So you're not going to get any of these things people worry about, all kinds of things that you just won't get here.
No, that's right. I think that's the trouble with the internet sometimes, because people see stuff on the internet and they don't realise it's done somewhere else. Like I saw one recently, it was this woman complaining about some pork she bought and had worms in it. And all these people were commenting. And I said, well, hang on a second, it's in America, it's not here, it's in South America, sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
get confused.
It's not
about
your
it.
Woolworths.
Exactly.
Don't worry about that.
Well, I think the whole this herbal thing is very fascinating, and my wife, who puts up with me for the last 30 or 40 years, you're the first person that she's actually taken an interest in
Right.
because of that side of it, because she loves all that,
Okay.
and all the other guests we've had, who cares?
So she's not a music enthusiast then.
Well, no, she does. She likes music.
Just likes herbs better.
Yeah, I'll have to write her a herbal song then.
Okay, well, speaking of songs, why don't you give us another tune?
Okay, so we're going to play, this is my new song. This is an acoustic version of it.
Do you want me to pour you a glass of wine?
No, I'm good. I want to focus and concentrate. I'll have the wine later. So this is called Do It Wrong. I was pressing too hard all this time. I was doing it wrong, and I thought that it was right. I was waiting for you thinking patience is a virtue, but I was doing it wrong. And I thought that it was right. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. Waiting for a sign, I couldn't see it was here in front of me. All this time, all that I need, it was here inside of me. I was waiting in fear, listening to the voices that I hear. I was doing it wrong all this time. I gave it a go, the best way that I know, but I was doing it wrong. And I thought that it was right. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. Waiting for a sign, I couldn't see it was here inside of me. All this time, all that I need, it was here inside of me. I was hoping for more, thinking dreams might come true, and I swore I wasn't doing it wrong all this time. I thought I was clear. In the storm I thought I knew how to steer, but I was doing it wrong all this time. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. Waiting for a sign, I couldn't see it was here inside of me. All this time, all that I need, it was here in front of me. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere. If you said yes, don't you know I would go? I would follow you anywhere.
Yeah. That's a great song.
Thank
I
you.
like that one.
Yeah, it's so how far away do you think this album might be?
Okay, it's coming. I think early next year or late this year, probably.
Just in case you've just tuned in, it's Marie Hopkinson, and that was Doing It Wrong, her new single, and album coming out this year. Now you're going to go to the CD or just
Yeah,
online?
we're going to probably do the full vinyl and everything.
Oh, really?
Like,
Wow.
I love records.
Yeah.
And so we'll definitely get some records.
Well, you must
made.
have lots of money.
I don't have lots of money, but I'm hoping the fans will be willing to pay for the records.
Most people go to cassette nowadays.
Cassette, yeah. I actually have
I've
a
been to a
cassette
few
player
gigs of
in my car
cassettes.
still.
I know, cassettes are making a comeback. That's
I've
amazing.
seen that.
man.
People buy them as memorabilia as well, right? So some
Don't-
people
don't
I thought
they
you were
don't
going
even
to say
have the vinyl.
coasters.
Don't they realise?
Coasters.
Don't they realise how much of a pain cassettes were before, when they used to break and
Oh, yeah, jam in your machine.
Well, this is
Yeah,
the
all that
benefit
stuff.
of these younger people that are experiencing this for the first time. It's the novelty.
yeah.
They've
The
never
guy-
had to put a pencil in a cassette tape and wind it back together.
The guy that invented cassettes passed away just last
Oh,
week.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a pretty cool guy. Okay, gigs. What sort of gigs you got coming up? You got anything happening? And I know you had a few gigs through March.
I did, yeah. I was gigged out. I'm here to rest now. No, I've got some. I play at chapels on Watley in Maylands.
Okay.
Very regularly, so people can check on my website or my Facebook page, and that'll be the next one. I'll have something in. I've got something coming up with them in April, and I've been doing a lot of live streaming as well, so people can request online and do that. And I'm looking at doing like a show, an online show, so it won't be just sort of me sitting there playing. It'll be other people coming on and make it more interactive and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that all Zoom or is it some other methodology?
I just use I just put my DSLR camera and I put it to my computer and then I pump it to the internet.
Oh, okay.
And out it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not so much like you can use Zoom, I think, but that's like a paid ticketed kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I put these things for free on my Facebook page.
And I think Zoom, if you're playing with somebody else across Zoom, the latency is pretty awful too, apparently.
I've never had to do that, thank God. Like we're very lucky in Perth that we haven't had to shut our gigs down for that long, that we've been desperate to play over Zoom.
Some people,
practice.
A lot of people are still doing it overseas. People,
Of
are still
course,
doing it.
yeah. I mean, I love watching those videos where there's 12, 15, 100 people all playing at once, and you're just like, how are you guys doing that? It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Have you watched that show Staged
No.
with David Tennant and Martin Sheen?
Right. Okay. I'll have to check
And
it
just
out.
about every other actor going. It's hilarious. But it's all zoomed like that, but really well edited.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Same sort of thing. Anyway, folks, if you like what you're hearing, Marie Hopkinson it's Marie Hopkinson Music on Facebook and YouTube, and there's a load of stuff on there. A load of songs, a load of covers.
Yep.
Just you sitting in your studio,
Yep.
cranking out a Rolling Stones tune or whatever.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, except I can never get the camera working, so I don't bother with it.
I don't even have a camera. All right. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you very much for coming in.
It's so great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So I don't know if you got another tune you could play us out with.
Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
great.
I'm just going to tune this because it's a tiny bit out of tune.
I could certainly listen to your voice again. A beautiful singing voice.
So this song I'm going to play now, this has been one of my most popular songs that I put out as a song. And I actually nearly didn't even put this out. Like I was going to record these. I had all the songs ready to record, and I went to my producer and said, look, I want to make an album basically. And at that point I was thinking, I'll just make an EP. I'll just record 5 songs. And he goes, oh, is there anything else that you've got? And I was like, oh yeah, I've got this other song. Like to me it was like this song that was too personal to tell everybody about kind of thing. It was just, I thought, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking I could only make happy songs. And I was like, maybe it make people too sad. But people have really connected with this song. And so I get asked to play it every time I do a gig, that people always ask me to play it. And so this is called Time in Your Hands. And I hope you enjoy it. Where do we belong? Now that everything has gone, where do we go now? New spaces we will find somehow. Who do you turn to? You lost the ones who knew. Whose shoulder do you cry on? Now that what you had is gone. You wanted this space, you made it happen. Now you're alone with all your thoughts and no one else. Oh, you wanted this room, you made it happen by yourself in the void created. Now I'm sitting here watching the highlight reel of other people's lives, just living out their time, and it hurts me inside.
Now I'm sitting here watching the highlight reel of everybody else. All these things that you think that you need in good time. Where do we go now? Looking at places to travel to. How do I tell you how I feel? It's so hard, so I will. Now I'm sitting there watching the highlight reel of everybody else. All these things that you think that you need in good time. Time on your hands, it's like a poison polluting my mind. Time in your hands, all these comparisons, I feel left behind. Now I'm sitting here watching the highlight reel of other people's lives, living out their time, and it hurts me inside. Now I'm sitting here watching the highlight reel of everybody else. All these things that you think that you need in good time. Time on your hands, it's like a poison polluting my mind.
Marie Hopkinson, Time on Your Hands.
Thank you.
Lovely song, lovely song.
That's what Greg's got, time on his hands now.
Yeah.
Retired.
Well, I want to pick your brains about doing YouTube channels and what equipment you use and all that sort of stuff.
No
Your
worries.
site's really good.
Yep.
All the
thanks.
links and bang, off you go. You can spend hours in there. A real rabbit hole.
I do spend hours in there.
I'd
Yes.
like to.
You do it all yourself? You're not paying someone to
Not
do it for you?
outsourcing it yet. No. I've just been doing it for so long. It
Yeah,
gets easier
that's
and
it,
quicker.
isn't it?
the
You just got
longer
to
you do it.
dive in and...
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do it.
Yeah, I've sorted out a couple of software packages like that, and that's it. Once you've done it for 20 years, it's fine.
Yeah. And then they change it on you. You've got to relearn
Well,
it.
that's the other thing. Well,
Then
they
you
bring
gotta pay to
something
use
new
it.
and that gets. Remember MySpace? That's what I mean. You know.
Yeah.
That went by the way. So
No, I think it's still there.
it's still there because I've got a MySpace.
You've still got your
account.
MySpace.
Nobody looks at it anymore. Of course.
He's still friends with Tom.
Sorry,
He's still friends with Tom.
Tom. Well, actually, no. There was a John and an Andy. I'm still friends with both of them. So.
All right, folks, well, you've been listening to Pat and Greg with Marie Hopkinson on KCR Live. Another good show. Thank you very much for coming in. Let's open that bottle of red wine.
Yeah, we're gonna have a tipple now, folks. So
See you later. See you next week.
thanks a lot. See ya.